3 very scary true woods horror stories. 1. The Whistling in Pine Ridge Forest. Jake had always preferred camping alone. While most of his friends enjoyed crowded campgrounds with picnic tables and noisy families, Jake found peace in the deep wilderness. He loved the silence, the smell of pine needles, and the feeling of being completely disconnected from the modern world. One cool autumn weekend, he decided to visit Pine Ridge Forest, a vast stretch of woodland known for its beautiful hiking trails and untouched scenery. He had been there once years earlier, but this time he planned to camp much deeper into the forest than before. After hiking for nearly 4 hours, Jake found a small clearing surrounded by towering pine trees. It was the perfect place to pitch his tent. As evening approached, he built a small campfire, cooked dinner, and watched the sun disappear behind the endless trees. Something changed as darkness settled over the forest. The birds stopped singing. The insects fell silent. Even the wind seemed to disappear. The silence felt unnatural, as if the forest itself were holding its breath. Jake tried to ignore the strange feeling. He climbed into his sleeping bag and listened to the crackling embers outside until he drifted asleep. A sharp whistle woke him. It was slow, soft, almost musical. At first, Jake assumed another camper had wandered nearby. The whistle repeated every few seconds, moving from one side of the tent to the other. He frowned. There were no footsteps, no rustling leaves, only the whistle. It circled the tent again and again. Jake reached for his flashlight, but hesitated. Then he heard a whisper. "Don't look outside." The voice sounded so close, it might have been inches from the tent wall. His entire body froze. He told himself someone was playing a cruel prank. Minutes passed. Then came a slow scratching sound. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Long fingernails drag of the tent. The sound moved around him in a perfect circle. Jake gripped the flashlight so tightly that his knuckles turned white. The scratching stopped. He waited. Nothing. Then it started again. This time, directly above his head. The tent roof dipped slightly, as though something heavy had leaned against it. Jake squeezed his eyes shut. He wasn't sure how much time had passed before exhaustion finally pulled him into an uneasy sleep. Morning sunlight woke him. The forest sounded normal again. Birds chirped. Leaves rustled. Everything seemed peaceful. He stepped outside, expecting to find animal tracks. Instead, the ground around his tent was completely untouched. No footprints, no paw prints. Only dozens of strange handprints pressed into the dirt, forming a perfect circle around the campsite. Each print had unnaturally long fingers. Jake packed immediately. At the ranger station, an older park ranger quietly listened to his story. 2. The Forgotten Fire Tower. College friends Daniel, Marcus, and Ethan loved exploring abandoned places. One Saturday, they found an old map online showing a forgotten fire tower hidden deep inside Black Hollow Forest. According to local rumors, the tower had been abandoned decades earlier. Ignoring the warnings, they packed backpacks and began hiking. After nearly 3 hours, they found it. The tower rose above the trees, rusted but still standing. Its wooden stairs creaked beneath every step as they climbed higher. By the time they reached the top, the breathtaking view stretched for miles in every direction. Marcus leaned over the railing. "Someone's down there." Daniel looked. At the base of the tower stood a tall man wearing an old forest ranger uniform. His hat hid most of his face. He didn't wave, He didn't move. He simply stared upward. The friends assumed he was angry they had entered a restricted area. They hurried back down. When they reached the ground, the man had vanished. No footprints surrounded the tower. No sounds echoed through the trees. It was as though he had never existed. Daniel reached into his pocket. "My keys, gone." Marcus checked his bag. His phone had disappeared. Ethan searched every pocket. Nothing. The sun had already begun to set. They retraced every step, but found nothing. As darkness spread through the forest, another sound echoed between the trees. Heavy boots. Step, step, step. The footsteps always stayed just beyond sight. Whenever the friends stopped walking, the footsteps stopped too. Whenever they moved, the boots followed. Panic took over. The three men began running through the darkness, guided only by a flashlight with fading batteries. The footsteps grew louder, closer. At one point, Daniel glanced behind him. Between two trees stood the same ranger, motionless, watching. They ran until they finally reached the road. Their car remained exactly where they had parked it. The missing keys were sitting neatly on the driver's seat. All three doors were locked. None of them could explain how the keys had gotten inside. The next morning, Daniel visited the local historical museum. An elderly volunteer recognized the tower immediately. It closed after Ranger William Harris disappeared during a patrol in 1992. They never found him? The volunteer slowly shook his head. They searched every inch of the forest. Daniel showed her an old sketch he had made from memory. Her smile disappeared. That's him. None of the three friends ever returned to Black Hollow Forest. 3. The Eyes Beyond the Trail. Emily had hiked Cedar Creek Trail more times than she could count. It was familiar, peaceful, and only a short drive from her home. One October evening, she decided to enjoy one last hike before winter arrived. The trail was nearly empty. Golden leaves covered the ground. Sunlight filtered through the trees. Everything felt perfectly normal. As sunset approached, Emily noticed movement in the woods. Two glowing yellow eyes stared at her from between the trees. She smiled. Probably a deer. She continued walking. The eyes didn't blink. They remained fixed on her. Then something impossible happened. The eyes slowly rose higher, higher, far above the height of any deer. The creature stood upright, at least 8 feet tall. Emily couldn't make out its body, only the glowing eyes, completely silent. She increased her pace. The eyes disappeared. Relieved, she continued toward the parking lot. Branch snapped behind her. She turned. Nothing. Another snap. Closer. She started walking faster. More branches cracked in the darkness. Whatever followed her matched every step. Emily broke into a run. The crashing through the trees became louder. She refused to look back. The parking lot finally came into view. The instant she stepped onto the pavement, everything stopped. Complete silence. Breathing heavily, Emily turned around. Nothing stood behind her. Only darkness stretching between endless trees. She laughed nervously. Maybe fear had played tricks on her. She reached her car. Then she froze. 5 enormous claw marks had been carved across the driver's door. The scratches cut through the metal as though it were paper. There was no blood, no fur, no footprints, only those impossible marks. Emily drove home without stopping. She reported the damage, but no one believed her story. She has never returned to Cedar Creek Trail.